So no doubt lots happened over the last 4 years, so let's talk about it live with my panel tonight. So we have former Trump administration HHS official Jack Kalavritinos here, former Obama administration HHS official Ashwani Jain over there. For once, I could say, well, I guess if you're watching it on TV, he's on the left, you're on the right, but you're on...
As it should be.
Guys, first of all, thank you both for coming in. I know it's late, so I appreciate you both taking the time here. Ashwani, I want to start with you. Your takeaways from hearing President Biden deliver that speech tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. I mean, I think he did exactly what he needed to. And I think I'll start by saying the only reason we're having this conversation is because Democrats believe in a peaceful transfer of power and admitting loss. But in terms of his speech, you know, he spoke directly to the American people, and he spoke about his successes. He got us out of COVID by accelerating vaccine distribution. Trump, on the other hand, said that COVID was a hoax. You know, Biden made historic investments in our roads, in our bridges, in our climate. Trump said climate change is a hoax. And Biden is leaving with the lowest unemployment rate in over 50 years. So I think there's a lot of great successes that he touched on. But I think for me, his greatest legacy is that he brought humanity back into politics, humility back into politics. I saw this when I worked directly for him as vice president. And I think we need to reward politicians who lift up people, not those who knock them down. And that's going to be a difference with the new administration.
Something that you and I have talked about on the show before, Jack, when it comes to COVID is you give Donald Trump credit for starting Operation Warp Speed, because that was something we got to the point with getting the vaccines out there. The question is, since the rollout, you know, he has the likes of, you know, some vaccine skeptics like RFK in his orbit now. That has changed a little bit. But as you look at how the speech went tonight,
I know. I
know you saw the same speech.
I feel like we didn't see the same speech. He seems like a great guy. We had a great time in the green room, but I just can't believe what I heard because, let's face it, in this environment right now, it's a very sad time for the Democratic Party. It's a very exciting time for the Republican Party. There's energy, foreign leaders, business leaders are coming to Mar-a-Lago. Democrats pushed out Joe Biden, pushed out Harris, who ended up losing in a historic loss. And so why did he even give this speech? I saw that only 11 presidents have even given these farewell speeches. So if Jill Biden and Joe and the family are deciding what are our goals for tonight, I started thinking to myself, if as a former staffer, if I were them, what would I be wanting to do? Well, talk about accomplishments. He talks about Medicare. Actually, he harmed Medicare through the IRA, and I have an article in Inside Sources about that this week. Start talking about oligarchies. Interestingly, he just gave the Medal of Freedom to one of the biggest billionaires who has actually harmed this country greatly, George Soros. And then lastly, he went back to this whole, we are the defenders of democracy, and somehow Donald Trump, who 77 million people just voted for, is some kind of Hitler against democracy. So I found it to be sad, pitiful, dark, and actually unnecessary. He did not need to give this speech.
So when you mentioned about George Soros there, the parallel that people have said, okay, but you have the world's richest man, Elon Musk, who will be in that Oval Office or serving the administration as Doge, as part of the Department of Government Efficiency. You know, is there a parallel there that we're not talking about?
I mean, Donald Trump loves Elon Musk. He has him down there. Everyone is sort of joking about that. It's not Donald Trump who's talking about an oligarchy. I mean, the Democratic Party raised more money from more millionaires and billionaires than the Republican Party ever has. But all of a sudden, Joe Biden is against oligarchs. Maybe it's because Elon Musk is speaking his mind as a First Amendment right as an American on Twitter. He happens to own Twitter, just like a lot of his own supporters own TV stations and, own newspapers and run network TV stations. So it was an odd moment that at the end of his time as president, he would start talking about billionaire oligarchs, and somehow they have to be reined in. It was weird.
So I feel like when we get to the end of most administrations, you know, there's a sense, you look at 8 years of President George W. Bush, 8 years of Bill Clinton, 8 years of Barack Obama, and people kind of like, okay, it's time for a change, time to move on here. But as time moves on, and you look back in the history books, there are moments in every presidency that do gain favor over time. President Biden tonight said that he said it will take time to feel the full impact of all that my administration has done, but the seeds we planted that will grow and bloom for decades to come. Where do you think he means by that? What's one of the policies you think that we might look back upon now differently than we do at the present?
I mean, just talk about the economy, for example, right? Some people claim that Trump won because of the economy. No, he won because his message of fear and hate resonated in a country that still has systemic racism and sexism. by all economic measures, Biden is leaving Trump with a very great economy. I mentioned earlier, lowest unemployment rate in over 50 years, almost 16 million new jobs created. That's more than not only the Trump presidency, but Obama and Bush as well. So talking about those successes, talking about actually investing and believing in our public health officials, not having conspiracy theories, actually believing in vaccines, actually believing in climate change, actually investing in a living wage and reproductive justice. These very tangible issues that are impacting millions of people's lives. That is the legacy of Joe Biden. But more than that, it shows what Democrats need to continue moving forward on and fighting for.
Can I just say, I want to applaud because as a Republican, I hope the Democratic Party does that in 2 years and in 4 years and 6 and 8. Because what you just said helped to elect Donald Trump, and he has a new Senate majority. So I truly hope that exactly what you said, no readjustment, not trying to find a Senator Manchin to run, do exactly that, and the Republican Party will continue to win.
All right. As we leave this and as we move on, we look at the approval ratings right now. And again, presidents leave with a lower approval rating. USA Today has it at about 44% as he leaves office. As we look ahead and as we inaugurate a new president, what's your hope? As somebody who did not vote for the incoming president, what's your hope for him come Monday?
I hope that he doesn't do the things that he said he was going to do. I hope he doesn't sever our ties with our allies. I hope he doesn't take away access for abortion care and gender-affirming care for millions of residents. I hope he doesn't go back to denying climate change. I hope he doesn't, God forbid we have another pandemic, deny that the pandemic is real and insult our public health officials and our scientists. I hope he actually is a unifier in the way that he claims he is, but actually reducing the hateful rhetoric that we have seen time and time again.
I'll give you the last 10 seconds.
Excited about this weekend and the coming 4 years. He's talking about an American renaissance. He wants America to win in this country and abroad for the American people, and that's what I think a lot of Americans are excited about.
These are the conversations a lot of people are having across the country right now, so we're going to have one right here. Guys, thank you both very much for coming in. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you so much for having us.
Our pleasure. Final Five is back right for this.